So here we have the three canals that we discussed, the Herren, the Kaiser, and Prinsengracht, being built throughout the 1600s. And this was meant to be the most exclusive residences in this newly very wealthy city. But it's kind of ironic, because you have to imagine, with the technology in those days, this isn't like Venice, that were naturally a series of different islands and so on. These canals were actually hand dug out here during this time period. It was mostly French Huguenots who had to emigrate as well themselves from religious persecution in France. They made up the large workforce that dug all these canals by hand. And then second of all, imagine all these lovely canal houses that we've got today. It's such a feature of the city. These were all built there in the 1600s. Some of their facades and so on have been renovated down the years, but generally speaking, these houses date from the mid-1600s. And again, the simple labor involved in driving in the timber piles, as we've learned that there's usually about 10 per house of all of these, that there's timber, entire Scandinavian pine driven down into the sand here. And that took an enormous amount of man labor as well, to basically have the kind of pulley system in order to hammer these into the ground. Took teams of roughly 30 or 40 men to drive in each single one. I think of 10 trees essentially per house along here. The entire decades of the golden age of Amsterdam, this entire elite area was actually just a big construction site. Now, nowadays on the canals, of course, is the kind of iconic site of the city, and it's often joked that there's 3 levels to the canals. It's pretty shallow water. It's only about 2 to 3 meters deep, actually, at any stage. And that's the top layer, of course. The bottom layer is the mud that makes up the sort of swampy area of Amsterdam. And in the middle, you've got about 10 feet of bicycles. Because indeed, they reclaim some 10,000 bicycles from the canals every single year. That's just the sort of price of doing business here with the mode of transportation around the city. Now, on a bit of more of a somber note, they also tend to pull out about 10 to 20 bodies out of the canals every year. Now, these are always of the exact same demographic, coincidentally. They tend to be males from about 18 to 30, and often end up being British in origin. Now, this so happens, if you can play Sherlock Holmes on this one, I should add one more bit. They're often found with their trousers around their ankles. These are men who have, at the intoxicated hour of the night, decided to go relieve themselves in a canal, slipped with their trousers around their ankles, not be able to catch themselves and hit their head, and unfortunately died, or perhaps in the winter have not been able to get out of the canals even and froze. So, sort of as somber as that is, the result of it is that you can actually see there aren't really any ladders, there aren't any fencing or railings really on in the canals, and part of that is because it's actually a UNESCO heritage site, so you can't change anything with the canals. It's according to UNESCO's sort of world plan here, they don't want them to alter it whatsoever. Now the last sort of neat feature with the canals are in the fortunate winters when it gets cold enough here for the canals to freeze over, which usually happens a couple times a decade at least. I think the last time was 4 winters ago, that the canals froze over. And ice skating takes place here, which is a very popular Dutch pastime. And even a lot of the restaurants, so bars, cafes, bring out their tables on the canals as well, so you dine out on the frozen canals.
Oh, wow.